Have you ever used a card scraper and even when it's working, it's just not comfortable? I mean, you're pushing a thin piece of steel and trying to hold an angle. Sometimes you're bending it, sometimes you're not. No matter what you use, your hands feel it at the end. Card scraping gives you some of the best looking grain when you're done, but it's not an enjoyable experience and your hands will ache afterwards. So what I wanted was something different. I wanted to grab it, put it on the surface and push. The angle's already set, so I'm not fishing for the right slant. A few passes with the handle that feels good in the hands, and I'm done. I came up with what I call a yoke for a card scraper. It takes everything you're normally doing with your hands and bakes it right into the tool. Let's make things. I've got everything here to make this. Now I'm gonna be building mine out of segmented hardwood, but honestly, you don't even need to go this route. Instead, you could make yours out of a scrap 2x4 and it works just fine. In fact, all of my prototypes were made from 2x4s and they worked. Besides your main block, you'll need a couple pieces of plywood to make a really simple sled. The sled is what we'll use to shape the underside of the yoke. You'll also need a couple threaded wood inserts and some machine screws that clamp the scraper in place on the bottom. And finally, there's a single bolt that runs through the top. That's what creates the camber in the blade. We'll get into more of that in just a little bit. All of the plans for this will be on the website, including the template, and those are free. For those of you that have asked, I also have a step-by-step digital version available, and if you want everything printed out for you, including the template, that option will be there too, but probably only for a limited time. Check the description down below for the link. The first thing that we'll make is a sled, and this sled will ride on top of a previous sled that you've already made. What we need to do is cut 4 2-inch strips that are 6 inches long. I'm also going to need my sled to be slightly longer than my stock, so I'll just kind of guess here. That looks pretty good right about there, and I can make that cut. And the width of my sled needs to be less than 6 inches, so about 5 7/8 will work fine. I'm also going to add a toe to the bottom of this. It should be no longer than the sled, and then I'll probably make it, I don't know, maybe 3/8 of an inch high altogether. Now we need to add a diagonal line to all 4 pieces, or you can stack them all together and use double-sided tape and cut them with the bandsaw. Before you cut your angles, make sure that you plug in your hot glue gun because you're going to need it. I know it's really tempting to want to cut right on the line, but just cut next to it and then we can clean it up later on. We want these angles to be pretty accurate. Once we've cut all these, they need to be attached to the sled. We're going to need 1 on either side and then 2 in the middle. We'll go ahead now and do both sides. And I've got a block that this just pushes up against so that I know that everything lines up right. And we want to make sure that we glue our angles. Obviously make sure that you don't glue the top tip because we're not doing that part yet. I've got a yardstick on here and I want to find the center of my platform. My sled is 10 3/4, so I'm going to go to 5 3/8. That's my center. And I'll take my scraper. This is a 2.5 inch scraper and find the center of it, which should be right about there. And I want to go about 1/2 inch beyond this. So about there and about there. And I'll put the final pieces right beyond that. With that done, we can add our toe to the front. And with that, our sled is done. My center line that I drew, I'm going to move it around to the front. I'll find the center of my block. This is 10 5/8, so I need to go down to 5 5/16. Now I'll use some double-sided tape on the bottom of this, and I'll place the center of my block on the center of my sled. My card scraper is 2.5 inches in width, so I want to go 1 1/4 inches from either side of the line. Now I want to go just a little bit wider, and that will account for my threaded wood insert. This threaded wood insert is about, looks like 7 30-seconds altogether. So I'm just going to go over that much from the side. Forget this line here and this line here. These are the outer side of our cuts. This now fits on my sled. And I don't recommend using a miter gauge to do this. You really want to have control over how it sits on when you move it back and forth so that it's not tilting on the table as you pull it back. Now I'm going to make a measurement from here to the bottom of my sled, and it looks like 1 5 30-seconds of an inch. So I'm going to make a cut on a separate piece of wood that will give me that 1 5 30-seconds of an inch. And I'm a 30-second shy, so I'm going to lower my blade by just a 32nd of an inch and do another cut. And that's looking much better. Now I can line the outside of my blade to that line. I can make a pass and they'll do the same thing on the other side. And then it's just a matter of hogging the entire thing out. Now don't get rid of your sled yet. We're gonna take our piece, flip it around, and then flip it again. And our section here is gonna be the same plane as our tabletop. But more importantly than our tabletop, we'll be able to use it at the drill press to drill out straight holes through this, which is what we're gonna do next when we add our threaded wood inserts. We're gonna measure up 1 1/8 inches. So right there, on mine, it's just gonna hit this little line right here. I want my threaded wood insert to fit right up against the wall here. So what I'll do is I'll take a drill bit, place it in the hole, and then line it up to the edge. Make sure you check your barrel size before you do this. Mine is 13/64 for this number 6. It's gonna be a good idea to go with a larger diameter if you're drilling into hardwood. This is Jatoba, so it's very hard. If you're going a little softer, you're gonna wanna use a smaller diameter bit. Make sure that you test in a scrap piece before you do this. Now we can add the threaded wood inserts, and you shouldn't need to use epoxy, but you certainly can use it if you want. With both of these done, now it's time to add our pattern to the top. If you're printing this out yourself, make sure that the center is exactly 1 inches by 1 inches, and it should just take a normal 8x11 sheet of computer paper to work. We'll cut around the entire thing. Be really careful that you don't go inside the line, of course, but it's really not important to cut right along here. Instead, we're just gonna fold this on the line. We'll take our piece of paper and it's gonna fit over the back like this, so that the open side is against the paper. You'll want to find the center of yours and then draw it across the top so that the plus can fit right over it. This is the center of our pattern. To attach this, you could use a spray adhesive or double-sided tape, but I'm just going to use some wood glue. If you plan on adding a hole to the top so that you can add a cambering bolt, now is the time to drill this out. I've set the depth for this and I've locked it in place. Now I usually use a 5/16 drill bit for these, but because I'm using a harder wood, I'm going to go to 23/64. Now I'm going to follow it up with a 17/64 drill bit, which is just a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch. Just makes it easy for my bolt to slide up and down later on. With our pieces cut off, we need to tape it all back together. And now we can remove the pieces. If you're not interested in cambering the blade, you could honestly stop right here. Just grab a couple small washers, grind them down so they sit clean on the bolts, and clamp your blade in place. You'll have a perfectly functional scraper. But here's the problem. When the corners are touching the stock, they can burnish the surface. That shows up as lines running across the face. Now there are ways to deal with that. You can knock the corners back and camber the blade manually, but that's inconsistent and you have to keep doing it every time you sharpen. Instead, we can build the camber right into the tool. By threading a bolt through the body, we can apply pressure to the center of the blade, bending it slightly. That lifts the corners and keeps the cut focused right where we want it, in the middle. But let's go ahead and remove the washers, the screws, and the card scraper. The first thing that you'll need to do, if you haven't already done this, is to drill that center out. What I haven't done with mine yet is to add a little bit of a taper for the top of this, so I'm gonna do that now. Now I'll switch this out for an Allen wrench that fits the top of my threaded insert. The wood that I'm using is a little bit harder, so what you can do is add your Allen wrench to a vise and then use the handles to turn it. And there we go. You'll need a threaded thumb nut of some kind. I cut the head off a 1/4 inch bolt and threaded on a thumb nut. Then I used some red thread lock to attach it. You don't need to spend a lot of money on this. A wing nut will work just as well. So my idea is to take a piece of steel plate, and I need a couple pieces on the end that are maybe about 1/2 of an inch, But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole and then I'm gonna cut it off. So we'll do that now. I'm drilling this hole out at 9/64 of an inch. I'm drilling a little too far away from the edge because now I can hit it with the sander so that I can get right up to the edge. If you look at the last washer, you can see that I'm probably in a good place right there, as this washer fit over the last one, so that should work. Now I'll just section this off at about 1/2 of an inch. Then I'll make a second one. With my new braces on here, we'll flip this on its side and you can see how it allows it to pivot out, but stays pretty flush on the edges. And that's exactly what we want. Now let's go give this a try. The way that I use this is I put my fingers over the top and I put my thumbs in the back. And I'm basically just pushing across the surface. It's very simple. It gets the job done very quickly. When I camber it, I just go a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot. Finally, if you also have narrower blades, just cut a wider set of these braces. These won't work with a full width blade since they prevent the camber, but for something with a curve on the end, you really don't need that anyway. Thank you so much for watching. The website will be in the description down below. Digital plans will be there as well, and patrons, it's available to you now. And remember to keep making things.